Hey guys, today I'm kind of doing a different kind of video right now. This one's a little bit more informative, just for the people that are brand new into doing MMA training. And this is just a list of everything you need. I wouldn't say everything you need, but like just a good checklist of some of the basic pieces of equipment you need when you're starting to do this kind of training. I've seen this a lot lately where I'll see guys like they'll come in for, let's say, a kickboxing class and they're like, oh, I want to do kickboxing. Okay, well, do you have any gloves or wraps? And they're like, oh, no. So this is for people that are like brand new to this kind of training and they're wondering like, honestly, what do I really need for this? And later on down the line, let's say you want to specialize in certain forms of combat sports or whatnot, your coaches will line you up with a good list of things to look into. Sorry, I'm a little tired right now. But this is just a simple checklist of things to get. First off, the thing you'll definitely need is a mouth guard. Obviously to protect your teeth, protect your jaw and whatnot. A really simple basic mouth guard I use, you can probably pick up some of the Everlast ones. They're pretty cheap over at like Walmart or Academy. There's a lot more better custom ones that you can get out there that fit a lot more form-wise around your mouth. That'll feel a little bit more comfortable, but usually those are pretty good. I think one little thing, and that's the thing I kind of had to do with mine, was like I had to trim the edges up a little bit because when I got my mouth guard, I obviously formed it by boiling and whatnot, but the part the ends of it were like kind of just far back enough to where I kind of ended up gagging every time I rolled with it. So just a little thing to keep in mind. Next one is primarily geared towards the men, is a cup. Obviously, when I say cup, you already know what I mean. Trust me, you're going to need a cup. A lot of this kind of training, whether you're doing jiu-jitsu training, boxing training, kickboxing training, or all the above, a cup's going to be very helpful to protect that area. One thing I would say too, just a little thing to keep in mind, let's say you go for more of a jiu-jitsu base. When you do your jiu-jitsu competitions and whatnot, keep in mind you are not going to be allowed to wear a cup because cups can be used as fulcrums. Now, in an actual MMA fight, however, though, you can go ahead and keep the cup on, obviously, because you got to protect that area. And cool, now you magically have a fulcrum. So, yeah. Next thing on here is headgear. Mainly just to protect your head from trauma and whatnot. I'm not really going to get into... There's a little bit of politics with that, and I guess with headgear from what I'm seeing so far lately, but getting headgear is definitely a lot more advantageous to protect your head, protect your ears, and whatnot. So there's that. Next thing is hand wraps. Something around the length of like 180 inches or so. Something that will protect your hands pretty good. If you get anything that's like 120 or below, it's not gonna really fit on your hand properly. It won't protect your hand properly, and it just won't work, especially for the level of training you're gonna be doing for this. I'm yawning a lot today. Sorry about that. Next thing you're gonna need are boxing gloves. There's different types, or I wouldn't say different types, different weights, different weight sizes for boxing gloves. There's some that are like 12 ounces, some that are like, I think 10, I think that randomly one time I saw like an 18 ounce glove. The one I see a lot the one I mainly train with, and one thing I see a lot of people use are 16 ounce gloves. So I'm probably going for the 16 ounces will be your best bet. That works with Muay Thai from what I'm seeing. I'm not a full-on expert on this stuff yet. So, but for, a lot of Muay Thai or boxing stuff, 16 ounce gloves are pretty good. Next thing you'll need are MMA gloves or often sometimes called grappling gloves or sparring gloves. The sizes for those will be between 4 ounces to 7 ounces. You'll probably see like more likely at like a academy, like those really basic MMA gloves over there. Those are good to start out with because it's mainly used for when you're doing your grappling based training for MMA, but also for light sparring whenever you're doing your sparring sessions for MMA as well. Later on down the line, though, kind of invest in the slightly bigger 7 ounce gloves. They're gonna look more like there's a big cushion on it, and it's gonna protect your hand a lot better when you're doing the sparring and whatnot. And plus, it's gonna be a little bit easier on your training partner as well. So there's that. Next thing you're gonna need is shin guards, obviously to protect your shins. So it's the same kind of concept with protecting your hands with the gloves. It's you're protecting your shins and whatnot. The other thing too is if you're like, especially like at the very beginning stages of your particularly your kickboxing training and whatnot, your shins aren't going to be super conditioned, and with a lot of different training situations and whatnot, you're gonna be learning how to check kicks. That was a bit of a tongue twister there, but yeah. So having a good set of shin guards to protect your shins will be good for you. There's gonna be sessions that you're gonna take or that you're gonna do where you won't be wearing the shin guards and you're just gonna be going bare shin on either the heavy bag or on the Muay Thai pads. So just which that kind of training will kind of help condition it. For actual conditioning for your shins, there's a lot of methods out there. I would probably encourage you to go ahead and start looking into that more. But there's that. The last piece of item, it's not super necessary, but I recommend it only because, especially if you're someone like me who's going for a more jiu-jitsu based kind of style with everything, is getting a gi. The jiu-jitsu kimono that a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners will wear, and it's gonna really depend on what school you go to get your jiu-jitsu training at. Most of the time, no gi jiu-jitsu is a much more like a very low investment type of martial art where you won't really need to like buy like a full set of gear. You can just start with shorts and a t-shirt. But using a gi, wearing a gi, in my opinion, I think is good in that you'll start getting the basic concepts of jiu-jitsu down, and it's going to open up a lot more doors and avenues for you when you actually start going more into no gi, and then from no gi going into applying it to your actual MMA ground game as well. So, but yeah, that's just kind of a list I wanted to throw together. There's a lot of other pieces of equipment out there that'll help you out with your training, but this is like kind of in my opinion, I think would be a good list to start out with when it comes to it. There's a lot of brands out there to when it comes to actually looking for gear to go for. Everlast is obviously pretty good. Century's pretty good because they're more readily available, like in your local area and whatnot. I would also like to mention Elite Sports. At least in my experience, a lot of their gear starting out is pretty good. It's a really good. It's more within the more affordable range for MMA gear when you're starting out. It's the quality is pretty decent. I've heard the horror stories about it's junk this, junk that. I'm like, no, I wouldn't say it doesn't happen, but sometimes it happens. But I mean, it's just up to you. But in my experience, my personal experience, most of my gear has been pretty good. Particularly the Ghees. I think the Ghees that they sell are really really good for the price they're at. A lot of Ghees that I've seen tend to go around starting at like $100 or so, whereas with Elite Sports theirs are like around 62. So you can get that on Amazon Prime and like have that delivered within a couple of days. But that's about it. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you didn't like the video, you can leave a dislike, although for some reason dislikes are no longer showing up on YouTube. If you're watching this video and you have a lot much more experience in any kind of combat sports and you want to leave your input on some additional things that people that are looking to do this kind of training would need, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below as well. Other than that, though, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.